Hey guys, Juti here with another Forbidden West video. Some of you may want to know if the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn can run fine on last gen, or if you should hold out and try getting a PS5 if you haven't already. Well, I played a bit of it, and here are my thoughts for last gen systems. So the short answer is that the last gen versions are actually a very good choice. They are very viable. But whoever didn't expect that must have forgotten that Forbidden West started development on PS4. So you're essentially getting the same game, just not with the same bells and whistles like with the PS5 version. So the base PS4 runs at a resolution of Full HD, whilst the PS4 Pro kinda has a similar resolution to that of the PS5's performance mode, in that it runs at checkerboarded 1800p. The first catch for last gen versions is that there is no toggle for performance mode or resolution mode. It's just those resolutions mentioned and capped at 30 frames per second. Something you may or may not have noticed is that certain few scenes are actually pre-recorded gameplay, as the old mechanical hard drives on the old systems cannot stream in data quick enough, for instance in this scene. The truth is, if I didn't say that, you probably wouldn't have even noticed. Well, if there is something you may notice from time to time is that on rare instances, the old hard drives suffer to load in textures, so they come in just loaded in a bit late. Nothing too distracting, so don't worry about it. The other thing is the level of detail. At first you don't really notice the difference, but almost everywhere there's actually higher quality assets on the PS5 compared to the last gen systems. And this goes hand in hand with assets in the distance also loading further back on the PS5 version. Sounds kind of bad, but in reality it isn't something you'll notice that much, especially if you don't have it side by side in comparison. To cover this up on the old consoles, I feel that they used more motion blur and a more aggressive temporal solution, so you don't notice it as much in motion. The trade-off is that it gives the game a kind of overall more grainy image quality. Once again, sounds kind of bad, but it's more or less the same as Horizon Zero Dawn. If there's one thing I like more about the last gen versions, is actually something that has to do with the additional lighting source on Aloy's face. You see, in all the trailers leading up to the game's launch when they were showing off the PS5 version, Aloy had an additional light source on her face. It's still there in the PS5 version, not as aggressive, but to me it still looks a tad fake, and I honestly think it was unnecessary. But it's just a personal preference, so let me know in the comment section what you think about that. So in conclusion, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, don't hesitate to pick up Forbidden West on the older machines. It's still a look on those old platforms by all means. Especially because, as I mentioned before, that's actually where development for this game started. I'm kinda expecting a different story when it comes to Gran Turismo 7, because the PS4 and PS4 Pro versions were actually considered later on. So it's gonna be, at least to me, I'm expecting a different story at launch, and I will be covering that game as well. So anyways, that brings us to the end of this video. You know the drill. If you liked the video, leave a like, and of course consider subscribing because that helps me the most. This is your boy Jehuti, and I'll see you on the next one.